AFL royalty is in the house in Las Vegas. Nick Davila, the reigning MVP. Aaron Garcia, a season ago, was still playing, soon to be in the Hall of Fame.
Do not play down to anybody's level. These are the same guys from other teams in a different uniform. That's all it is, okay? Let them know who we are tonight. We'll have fun. Let's have some fun on the field tonight. We'll get out at night in town, go see our families for Easter. Let's go. Set a prayer.
Welcome inside the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. AFL on ESPN. The Arizona Rattlers to take on the Las Vegas Outlaws. Good evening to everyone. Ari Wolf along with you here in Las Vegas. And for Arizona, they are trying to make history. They're redefining the term dynasty. They have won 3 straight Arena Bowls. They've played in 4 straight. The question is, can they get to their 5th straight and win a 4th straight? It's a long road to go. Tonight, they take on an expansion team, the Las Vegas Outlaws. Last week, they had to play San Jose. This week, they have to take on Arizona. So they're going to learn quite quickly how the best of the best play in the Arena Football League. Now, I bring in friend and partner Anthony Herron. Nick Davila, fair to say, in the last 5 years, has been the best player in the AFL.
Without a doubt, when you think about the numbers he's put up, that's only part of the equation for the Latin Laser, but the championships tell the full story of who Nick Davila is as a person and what he is as an AFL quarterback. A chance, as you mentioned, Wolf, to win the 4th consecutive Arena Bowl championship as a starting QB. No one in AFL history has ever done that.
He is truly special, great leadership. Now for the Outlaws, J.J. Raderick, a year ago at this time, was the starting quarterback for an expansion team in Los Angeles. Fast forward to now, he's starting quarterback for an expansion team in Las Vegas. How's this one going to work out?
Well, he's staying on the West Coast. That's one thing, and we saw him play a bit of a journeyman role last season, going from L.A. to Iowa, back to L.A. But when Aaron Garcia began to put this roster together, he knew that J.J. Raderick was the fit for him to come here and start this expansion franchise. The opportunity for J.J. Raderick to turn a journeyman career and those numbers he's put up throughout his career into a great career.
Well, we are very fortunate to have the greatest quarterback in AFL history as the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Let's bring in Sed Bonner.
Hey, thanks, Ari. Here with Coach Guy. Coach Guy, 3 straight titles. What keeps this Arizona organization moving the right direction?
Well, we got a great culture, great environment in our organization. Starts with our owner, Ron Schertz. He sets expectations, and we follow. You know, ownership makes the difference in this league.
You know, quarterback play has been great for you guys. You guys missing some receivers a week ago, not as efficient. What'd you do this week to shore that up?
Well, it's about getting reps. We got some young guys in there. They got to get the reps, and they'll get better. The goal tonight is getting better from week 1 to week 2.
Appreciate it, Coach.
You bet.
Guys?
Thank you very much, Sid. Thank you to Coach Guy. Arena football rules. Running clock until the final minute of each half. You see the dimensions of the field. No punting allowed, no outside stunting or twisting. A ball off the rebound net is live, and one wide receiver may be in forward motion before the snap. And there is Vince Neal of Motley Crue, one of the owners of the Las Vegas Outlaws. We've had quite a string of rock and roll stars join up with the Arena Football League. And there is Aaron Garcia, the head coach of the Las Vegas Outlaws. And he will go down, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, maybe right behind our guy, Sed Bonner. Here we go. Ross Gornall with the kick. Played cleanly off the rebound net. Big space, it's A.J. Cruz just signed this week. And that's what he did so well for the LA Kiss a year ago. The big return to the 13-yard line.
Self-preservation of no concern when A.J. Cruz takes the ball off the net. That's been the hallmark of his Arena football career so far. Catches it cleanly and then hits it right up in the hole. Great blocking from his new Rattlers teammates. Almost takes it the distance. As you mentioned, Wolf, with the LA Kiss last season, that's what A.J. Cruz did so effectively. It's why he was on the field.
Davila sets, throws, and it's incomplete. Nick put together an amazing season a year ago. 67% completion rate, almost 4,800 yards, 127 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. And Anthony, when we talk about the history books, 5 straight seasons over 100 passing touchdowns each year.
No one in professional football history can stake that claim for the numbers that Nick Davila has put up. A lot of guys put up stats. He is a championship competitor.
Marquis White, the catch, and he's tackled immediately at the 6-yard line. Dwight McLean with the tackle. And this is an Arizona offense that is missing some really important players. Now, Jared Perry is a former Rookie of the Year. He can certainly get the job done. And Marquis White is a veteran. And Chase D. Adder had a big game last week. But when you're used to seeing Rod Windsor, Kerry Reed, and Mo Purify, it's a different-looking bunch.
The receivers in the lineup tonight certainly don't have the resume that Rattlers fans have come accustomed to.
Davila will throw. White's got it. Touchdown, Rattlers.
The end zones in the AFL aren't always the same shape, but what the Rattlers do so well in their offense is run these drag patterns, forcing the defense to not just play one area of the zone, but to honor multiple spots within the secondary once their receivers start to work through the end zone. So the depth of the end zones here at the Thomas & Mack Center for the Outlaws, not as deep as what you may see in some other arenas.
Kick is up, and it is good. We will step away for a moment. Aaron Garcia and the Outlaw offense will come on the field, but Nick Davila doing what he does best, finding open targets in the red zone. Rattlers lead 7-0.
The tires are kicked and the fires are lit at the Thomas & Mack Center. A.J. Cruz caught it cleanly off the net, nearly went the distance, just as LA Kids fans saw him doing last season. And Nick Davila, with that type of field position, delivers yet another TD strike.
Arizona now to kick it off. Played high off the net, played cleanly. And not a lot of room to operate. And we will get our first look at J.J. Ratterink. In his 6th year, played his college ball. Not that far from here. Wyoming, up in Laramie. UNLV, member of the Mountain West as well. We're here in their home basketball arena. And there are his numbers from last week, Monday night, against San Jose. They didn't get off to a good start, but played much better in the second half. And Ratterink to Solomon. And Solomon cannot hold on to it. And we'll take a look at the rest of the Outlaw offense. Jomo Wilson had his best season with Jacksonville when Aaron Garcia, instead of being his coach, was his quarterback.
And with Jomo, part of what Aaron Garcia talked to us about today was a bit of a concern for whether or not Jomo Wilson had lost his step last season after San Antonio, but he says he's looked good in camp, didn't have his best effort in the opening game.
Ratterink completes it. Wide open receiver. LaDon Hudson makes the catch. He is a true rookie. Let's see what the penalty flag is.
Illegal defense, number 25, Jack linebacker out of the box. The penalty is declined, result of the play, first down.
Reggie Smith, our referee tonight, he was the referee in the Arena Bowl. We're in good hands tonight. Great crew. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Outlaws at the Arizona 19-yard line. Ratterink's best season came with the Iowa Barnstormers back in 2012, 93 touchdown passes. Wilson in motion. Ratterink gets it to Hudson. And Arkeith Brown will tug him by the jersey and force him out of bounds. And we'll take a look at an Arizona defense. Felt like last season, whenever the big games come, those guys know how to bring the pressure.
Up front, Antaj Hawthorne right in the middle, and the Mac linebacker, Tyree Glasper, working right behind him. That's really where this defense is at their best, bringing it right up the gut. The secondary benefits from the type of pressure they apply.
2nd and a yard. Ratterink will keep it himself, get the first down and more. He'll take it for 6. Touchdown, Outlaws.
draw to the weak side of the formation for J.J. Raderick, getting the defensive end up the field. That opens up the run lane as the jack flies out to the wide side of the field. Tyree Blackford tries to pin in J.J. Raderick as Aaron Garcia calls the number of the former Wyoming Cowboy.
He had 9 rushing touchdowns a year ago, and there he runs it in from 11 yards out. 4-play drive, 37 yards. Gornall on for the extra point. It is up and good. So J.J. Raderick, he's 33. He's trying to let everybody know, I got the feet. I'm still an athlete. And he scurries into the end zone for the Outlaw touchdown. ESPN's 2's coverage of the Arena Football League continues next Saturday when the Outlaws visit the KISS, the Battle of the Bands. Don't miss the gridiron action as both teams try to get some wins early in the season. Las Vegas versus LA next Saturday at 10 on ESPN2 and watch ESPN.
Some Rattlers fans in the house. They were getting pretty loud during the warm-ups before this game as Arizona was sort of navigating the field.
When you're the 3-time defending champs, you're a good time. Why not follow them? Come to Vegas, have a good time.
The proximity certainly helps.
Cruz hoping for a chance. Plays it cleanly. He's very dangerous. A.J. Cruz, look at him go. The flag is down as Cruz stiff arms the kicker, dives in. But hold everything. There's a flag back at the 21-yard line. A.J. Cruz already making a difference.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 94. 10-yard penalty, first down.
A holding called during the return. It's one thing to have your hands inside, but you have to let the coverage player disengage. It's difficult to see exactly where an Arizona player had some jersey there, at least outside the cage. I used to coach guys, especially on the kick return game. Grab inside, grab some cloth in that chest meat.
Talk about a touch pass. Benson with the catch, and let's go to Sid.
Hey, thanks, guys. Down here with J.J. Raderick. J.J., much different start than a week ago. How much more comfortable after another week of practice are you in this offense?
Well, I'm getting a lot more comfortable. I've met a lot more with Coach Aaron Garcia, and, you know, even though I've been doing this quite a while, it's still a little bit different terminology, and, you know, he sees things differently, and he's run this offense so successfully that I want to emulate that as much as possible. So I've really just been trying to listen to everything he has to say and really try and take my game and do what we do in his offense.
Without Tyson Poots out there tonight, you got a couple young guys able to step in. Who of these guys has really shown you that they're going to be a big star in this league? Well,
LaDon Hudson, I had a couple big catches. He had a big one last week in traffic in the end zone to get his first touchdown, and I think there's a lot more to come from him. And you know, we've got Gerald Young, who they haven't seen yet, stepped off the net the one time, and he can do some pretty special things along with the other guys. So, you know, when one guy goes down, it does give opportunity to some other guys, and you hate to lose a guy like Tyson for the type of player and character he has, but you know, it is good for some other guys to get some reps as well.
Appreciate it, JJ. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Guys.
It was just a moment ago. You see them helping defensive back Josh Gatlin off the field for the Las Vegas Outlaws. On that pass completion to fullback Michael Benson. You mentioned the touch pass there. And Benson makes an outstanding grab. It's right there towards the bottom of the screen. Chase DeAdder out in space. Is cutting through the outside leg of Josh Gatlin, having to be helped off the field. And that's how it's coached up. It's not a dirty play. It's not an illegal chop block that DeAdder attempted. And Tyson Poots was seeing there one of the players who's really the best free agent acquisition that Aaron Garcia was able to make by most accounts. Had an excellent career going for the last couple of seasons with the Arizona Rattlers as one of their top wideouts. That depth that Arizona had at wide receiver still on display so far.
And interesting here, it appears that Hudson is coming to the game. Now, Tanner Varner, their jack linebacker, is perfectly capable if he has to go back and play in the secondary. And let's see which guy goes where. Because remember, Hudson's a rookie. So Tanner Varner, the starting jack linebacker, is now in the secondary, number 20. We'll see if maybe Nick Davila takes a shot at him. And Davila goes to Marquis White, who gets the first down right in front of Tanner Varner.
This would be a bit of a chess match that'll play out here. Let's listen in and see if Kevin Gott talks to Nick Davila about that.
Number 20, Tanner Varner on the side of the offense.
All right, lead the
First down and 10.
Come on now, let's go. Right, see the 5, 21 veer, I'm way. 21? Yeah.
The Z receiver coming from the backside. Run a divide route, creating space, motioning to trips.
Go! Son. Oh, yeah.
Keep it on the ground, it's Benson, and the big fella will take it all the way for the touchdown. Michael Benson.
One of the other big free agent acquisitions, Michael Benson, sitting right here at the fullback position, creating the running lane there at the point of attack between the offensive linemen, Sherman Carter and Will Simmons. That motion to trips as Jared Perry worked towards the wide side of the field. The eyes of the entire secondary followed Perry with him. Once the running lane was created at the point of attack, Michael Benson took it away. 29-yard touchdown run for Benson. Jeremy Shelley on for the extra point, and he connects. And the Rattler lead is 14-7. But Benson now already 4 rushing touchdowns in less than a game and a half. We're coming right back to Las Vegas.
Doug Kazarian here in the ESPN studios. 4 games tonight in the Arena Football. Here's Cleveland and New Orleans. Shane Austin, 7 touchdown passes, 5 of which to Dominic Goodman. Cleveland pounds New Orleans 2-0 on the season. Back to Las Vegas.
I mentioned at the top of the broadcast AFL royalty. Well, rock and roll royalty has joined up with the AFL as Vince Neil, one of the owners here in Las Vegas, making himself comfortable here. Their second home game. And there's Michael Benson. He's got a smile because he just ran it in from 29 yards out to give the Rattlers a 14-7 lead.
That was about 280 pounds on the move of Michael Benson as well.
He looked good. He looked like he was running well.
Kevin Gott told us that he got Michael Benson here in the training camp and had him trim down about 15 pounds in the weeks during that preseason stretch. Wanted him to be a little bit lighter. And in that 275, 280 range, he's still hefty enough to stand up in pass protection and make Nick Davila feel comfortable in the pocket from the fullback position.
You can't return it from all the way back there, so they will start out on the touchback. For the latest news, scores, and inside information, log on to arenafootball.com. Whether you want to chat with fellow Arena fans or just check on the very latest league standings or stats, arenafootball.com is where it's at. J.J. Rattering, such a likable guy, played for a lot of teams.
Here we go.
I tell you this, I've never heard a teammate say a bad word about the guy.
J.J. Rattering was almost a bachelor a couple of years ago. ABC was extremely interested in him. He went through some of the interview process, and you know, he's not hard on the eyes. I've heard ladies talk about J.J. in that way.
Rattering gets it out quickly. Solomon the catch. Big Ant. Tell me about the impact players tonight.
A big impact is going to be had if the Outlaws will have success by wide receiver Jomo Wilson on that side of the football, former teammate of Aaron Garcia. Had 6 receptions, but no big yardage last week. Defensively for the Rattlers, Tyree Glasper from the MAC position, 2 sacks in the opening game of this season. He was on Big Ant's Brute Squad last year. Not a guy who normally puts up huge numbers, but always makes an imprint.
Rattering looking for Hudson, who makes the catch. Very well-timed play. Rattering on the money, and let's check in with Sid.
Hey, Ari, talking about the maturation in this Aaron Garcia's offense of J.J. JJ's the kind of kid, he's never going to be combatant towards a coach or anything. So he and Aaron kind of offset each other perfectly. It's a perfect match. I believe this is a chance for him to really renew his career and what he's able to do in the Arena League. As Anthony touched on earlier, over 17,000 yards passing, had a lot of success. I think this is a match made in heaven for JJ. He's in the right place at the right time.
Ratterink, quick completion. Solomon breaks the tackle, and he gets inside the 10. And Ann, I want to reference what Sid mentioned. The yards for J.J. Ratterink, his coach he should really listen to, because Aaron Garcia has over 62,000 passing yards.
And here's just a quick smoke route, firing the football to the outside. So you're going to see as it leaves the hands of J.J. Ratterink, you don't even need the laces on this pass. It's just about the wide receiver from the inside coming to crack out. And Iowa Hawkeye fans saw Clinton Solomon do this on the tunnel screens that Kirk Ferentz and his staff made famous throughout Big Ten annals.
For those of you who aren't sure of it by now, my partner is a proud former Hawkeye, as Hudson makes a one-handed catch and gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Outlaws.
Are we sure LaDon Hudson's a rookie? To reach all the way back outside of his frame and be able to make this grab on a ball that's coming in hot. Had a smoke stream behind it. And then once he actually makes that outstanding catch, has to go mano a mano with Jeremy Kellum at the goal line. 4 Rattlers couldn't bring him down.
Gornall connects on the extra point. Game tied at 14. This is a far better start than the Outlaws had Monday night when they got down 28-0. We're seeing a little bit of extracurriculars after the play.
On that release, I just need to motion real hard.
And Seth was actually at the game last week calling it, where San Jose got out to a big lead against Las Vegas. But the second half of that ball game, the Outlaws really did outplay the SaberCats. They got in a position where once they were down, Aaron Garcia talked to us about it just before the game, that he felt like people relaxed. Everyone sort of focused in on doing their own job. And a lot of it tends to be a little bit of coach speak, and people get tired of hearing some of those sort of tired terms. But a lot of it ends up being true in situations like that, where it's the franchise debut, and you've got so many guys making their career debut on the Arena Football field for the first time. The second half was extremely impressive last week.
They put up some points, and they're off to a good start tonight against the team that has been far and away the best AFL team over the last 4 years. 4 trips to the Arena Bowl, 3 consecutive titles. A.J. Cruz is back deep last time. He returned it for a touchdown, but it was called back because of a penalty. A.J. Cruz still on his feet. And Cruz gets to the 17-yard line. So another good return, and we go to Sid.
Thanks, Ari. Down with Coach Garcia. I mean, talk about this offense. The jump you made from the first half a week ago to where you're at right now. Talk about the work these guys put in, and you got to be pleased with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the main thing was getting them to continually believe in each other. You know, it was frustrating last week, 28-0, but we hadn't been in an arena yet, you know what I mean? So to make the improvements we've been making, and we got to keep getting better throughout the rest of this game to play with a team like this.
Guy like Tyson Poots out. You got LaDon Hudson making that kind of play. Is this big for you to get to see these young guys and what they're capable of?
It really is. It's exciting, you know, as a coach, even as a player, to see young guys come in and maybe get their hopes and dreams going. Young guy right there made a play for us. We got a little nervous of him. You know, it is.
Thanks, AG. Guys.
Donovan Henley from the middle safety position. You get into your pedal, and you have to have zone eyes with this coverage. And you see there, a little HBO coverage as Tanner Varner to the field side allows Marquis White to get beyond him. But Henley right there, lowering the boom as the ball goes into the hands of Marquis White, dislodging it at the last moment.
2nd and 10. Davila with time. DeAdder drops it. It was right there. He's a big target at 6'5", but doesn't make the catch.
Come on, man.
But Aaron Garcia told us that he feels like Chase DeAdder has a little bit of Tyson Poots to him. Well thrown ball there from Nick Davila right into the zone, just off the hands of Tanner Varner, who's one of the top 50 players voted by Arena Football players over the offseason, came in at player number 46 in their poll. You mentioned his background as a defensive back, mainly played jack the last couple of seasons, but he has abilities to make that play.
Plenty of movement, and Davila has been a master using his cadence over the years to draw guys off sides. We'll have to wait and see on this one. Sherman Carter is the center for Arizona.
Encroachment. Defense, number 33. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Impact players on this side of the ball, Anthony.
Well, we saw for Arizona, Michael Benson, the fullback, rumbled 29 yards for a touchdown. He had 3 touchdowns for the Rattlers in his Arizona debut last week. And Terrence Carter had a sack, had a pass breakup for the Outlaws, and Aaron Garcia felt like he was the player defensively that got them going in the second half.
Davila throws, and it's incomplete. It brings up 4th down. Last week, the Rattlers 2 for 2 on 4th down. This is not a team that gets concerned or anxious about big plays. There is a flag on the field.
There is no foul for roughing the passer. The defender was blocked into the knees of the quarterback. It's 4th down.
When you've got big offensive linemen leaning on you, blocking you, throwing you around as a defender, it's difficult to lay off in moments like that. Just referenced Terrence Carter. He was trying to make an inside move, but was really still engaged with the offensive blocker.
4th down. Davila throws, and it is caught. Perry with the catch. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rattlers.
Tough duty in man coverage because Jared Perry here in the middle has all kinds of space and opportunity to work over Donovan Henley in the middle of the field. Basically just runs a get open, sticks his foot in the ground, gets up on his shoe tops at first, then sticks that left foot in the ground, and then darts towards the outside. Well-timed pass from Davila.
After the play, delayed game, offense, throwing the ball in the end zone. 5-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10.
You hear a bit of the reaction from the Rattlers fans here in attendance.
Rattler Nation is in Las Vegas tonight.
After Perry,
he was a little excited. He hadn't gotten on the field much in the last couple of years when he was former Rookie of the Year. He's like, my team's too good. I got to celebrate.
Honestly, that's part of the reason Jared Perry hasn't been on the field. I mean, there's depth for Arizona at wideout, so there's talented guys he's been behind, but maturity's been an issue.
Davila throws. Marquis White's got it. Goes over the boards. Touchdown, Rattlers. There's a flag at the 12.
This may have been defensive holding in the secondary.
That's a touchdown.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 21. The penalty is declined. Result of the play. Touchdown.
Dwight McLean's always been a physical player. See him here to match up with Marquis White as he works towards the outside. But the collision that comes is there as he's in chase mode. He knows that he's getting beat for a touchdown. It actually ends up being Donovan Henley, so it was 2, not 21. But as Marquis White tried to work his way up the boards, he's contacted beyond the space.
Shelley misses the extra point, so the Rattler lead is 20-14. And extra points, if you're new to arena football, are not easy. Those goalposts are just 9 feet wide. That is half the width of the goalposts in the NFL.
Well, the Rattlers are known for their pass protection. You're going to see a great arc to the pocket, and Nick Davila is known as a guy who he doesn't love to take off and run, but as long as he's got comfortable space where he can step into passes, he's going to be accurate and on time every time. And Marquis White going over the boards into enemy territory, uses that long frame to go up and make an excellent catch at 6'7".
Sid, what are you seeing downstairs?
I'm seeing a lot of different coverages from Las Vegas. They're trying to mix it up and make it tough for Nick, but obviously when you play as many games and as many big games as he has, it's tough to mix up the coverage. You see there, they catch him in a man-to-man, they run the wheel route on him, and he lays it out there. The guy knows what to do with the ball at all times. The only chance you got is to really get that pressure on him, and as you guys have seen, they haven't been able to get close.
They tried to run sort of a flash man on that play set where you saw Henley sort of flash in one direction and then try to keep up with Marquis White, but you just can't give Nick Davila that sort of space and opportunity to deliver the football through.
Chance for return. That ball was hit on a line. Big return out across midfield, but a late flag comes in, and it may back up the Outlaws.
Number 3, Gerald Young, on the return for the Outlaws.
Starting to return, holding, receiving team number 21. 10-yard penalty, first down.
We're going to have a chance to listen in. Live audio is one of the many perks we have in our coverage of the Arena Football League is the access.
Go. Perfect on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go left, wide back, 32, wide quick pull, X hitch and go on one-on-one. Ready?
We should see from the backfield Joe Mortensen likely try to quickly set, get the hands down.
The pass from Raderick behind Hudson, and this time he can't work his magic with another one-handed catch. So the seconds ticking away in the opening quarter. Week 2, 2015 AFL season. And the 3-time defending champion, Arizona Rattlers, here to welcome the Las Vegas Outlaws into the Arena Football League. After 15 minutes, it's Rattlers 20, Outlaws 14. Here is a recap. Nick Davila finding Marquis White for the opening touchdown of the game. And then J.J. Raderick showing off the good feet, 11-yard touchdown run for the Outlaws. Then Michael Benson from 29 yards, the big fullback gets the touchdown. And it's been the play of the game so far. Hudson, the one-handed catch, fights his way into the end zone. And then the Rattlers respond. Marquis White, the touchdown, goes over the boards. He's just fine. Done that a few times in his career. And there is Aaron Garcia, rookie head coach after a brilliant AFL career as one of the top quarterbacks in league history. Hudson on the quick screen. There is a flag down.
As you reference, there's a flag down, so this may come back. But I love the way the Outlaws receivers are blocking outside the numbers.
Going on the field is down by contact into the wall. Holding, offense number 1. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
They call the penalty on Clinton Solomon. Let's have a look. He engages the defender here, and he actually doesn't go low, blocks him up high, keeps his legs driving. He may have had a tug on the jersey. That's probably where the flag comes in as he's going and had the defender engaged.
51, stop, wide deep stop on 2-on-2, ready?
First and 10 for J.J. Raderick. Oh, check that, second down. Raderick looking for Hudson. It's real good defense from Arkeith Brown there, step for step.
Arkeith Brown, one of the more athletic defensive backs in the AFL. I like the ball from Raderick. He's throwing into coverage, but it's a one-on-one opportunity. And so what we saw sometimes last week, and Seth Bonner can chime in on this as he was there at the game in person, J.J. Raderick was throwing into coverage at times last week. Said there, I like the opportunity he took one-on-one.
Absolutely. You got to recognize that. You get a chance for one-on-one, especially with the motion man. You see Arizona did the switch there at the line of scrimmage, allowed the motion man to go free. Just a big play by Arkeith.
Right here. Called by number.
Like to throw everything everything he did there. Gave his guy a chance.
Reggie Smith heard from Aaron Garcia, the head coach for Las Vegas. He wanted a timeout. 3rd and 14 coming up for the Outlaws. For fans of season-long greatness and the race for MVP, this is your day. Countdown tips things off at 12:30, then at 1. MVP candidates James Harden and Russell Westbrook face off at OKC, followed by fellow MVP contender LeBron James taking on the Bulls Sunday on ABC.
Here we go. Let's go on 2 here, fellas. Let's go. Zeta.
They sort of decided LeBron just can't win MVP every single year.
Right, so you got to like bring other people into the equation. Yeah. But if he was a rookie and had this year, he'd be the MVP.
I don't respect what Harden and Westbrook have been doing this season, though.
They've been great. Raderick. Solomon's got a step. But he does have the football. Denard makes the play, gets a hand on it. That ball needed to be thrown a little further out there.
You're right, Wolf. There's a space out towards the front pylon where J.J. Raderick is able to lead Clinton Solomon across the field a bit more. Just another missed opportunity. Let's check the back judge here. Friendly fire out in space. Able to make sure he doesn't trip the receiver and defensive back, though. That was kind of nimble, actually. First part, not so athletic. Second part, very athletic.
4th down. Raderick going for it all. And it's incomplete, and it's going to be Rattler football at the Las Vegas 12-yard line.
They keep showing them man-to-man coverage. And so J.J. Raderick and the Outlaws keep trying to make them pay in that area of the field. But it's about getting the ball out of your hands a little bit earlier. Raderick does here before the final break is made, cutting towards that space from Gerald Young. But there, the defensive back, Jeremy Kellen, played so high that he delivered the football to a space where Kellen could actually play the ball. It's almost like Raderick was guessing there, but the spacing of the man coverage was different because it was much further off.
Nick Davila, 4 of 8 for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns. And it's clearly going to be a flag here.
You think so?
Yeah, that one, even I could call from all the way up on the 2nd level.
And that's the Rattlers attacking Tanner Varner.
Yep.
Seeing that a player who mainly plays jack linebacker at this point in his career was an all-arena defensive back as a rookie many moons ago.
At the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Tanner Varner was always stronger in zone coverage. See here, up in more of a press position, gets into a press bail, then as DeAdder tries to work across his face, you're certainly better off picking up a penalty than you are giving up a touchdown. Everyone agreed with Ari Wolf after the play.
Yeah, it was an easy one. We were all in consensus there. Perry in motion. Davila feels the pressure and goes down. He is sacked.
Terrence Carter made his imprint on the game last week, having an imprint early in this game as well. And it's not just about the first step, getting off the snap, but then after you slap the hands down, to be able to dip and turn that upfield shoulder towards the quarterback. Good coverage in the secondary as Jared Perry attempted to come in high motion, but Dwight McLean was able to put hands on him. That didn't allow an opportunity for Nick Davila to get the football off.
2nd down. Davila this time has time. Gets rid of it. White's got it. Touchdown Rattlers.
The pass rush coming around the edge from Jabari Fletcher. Almost got home on this snap, but there was just enough space for Nick Davila to climb slightly into the pocket, stays comfortable and calm, and then delivers the football back into the end zone to Marquis White. The coverage of the secondary, only part of the equation.
Oh, yeah, Devon. Did you will, bro?
Shelley on for the extra point attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on the way, and this time it is converted. And the Rattlers stretch their lead to 27-14. They take advantage of the short field. Davila this time gets just enough protection to find veteran Marquis White for the easy touchdown.
Doug Kazarian with a studio update. Right now, Philadelphia and Spokane. Jarrett Brown getting the start for the injured Carson Kaufman. Buys himself some time. Touchdown pass to Nick Truesdell. Spokane trailing by 5. Brown again, this time to Mick Washington. Spokane takes the lead, but Philly answers and leads by 5 at the break. Final 4 in the books, and Kentucky has finally lost. Wisconsin hands the Cats their first loss of the year, and Whiskey will play Duke in Monday's national championship game. Full coverage over on ESPN. Here on ESPN2, back to Las Vegas.
We are back, and we're taking a look at the last touchdown. We're going to give you 2 different perspectives following the play. Now, Anthony Herron was a defensive lineman and then a defensive line coach, and he's okay with that.
Jabari Fletcher did absolutely nothing wrong. He defeated the blocker, got to the quarterback. He's crawling around the ground. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Not hit him? He's doing his job hitting the quarterback.
That's garbage. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, that's garbage. You're crawling around. You're supposed to hit us, but there's no reason to try to grab and then do a crocodile roll. You saw it. Crocodile roll. No place for it.
There is no rule against crocodile rolling. I will take out the Arena Football League rule book.
You know, you sit there and you watch your guy catch a touchdown pass, and then you got to worry about crocodiles rolling up on your legs. Come on. No good.
That's the part that can frustrate a defensive lineman, and Seth Bonner did so well throughout his career. You get a big hit on the QB, you make a great pass rush move, but when you get up and a touchdown pass has been thrown, that can sort of start to take the life out of a pass rusher because you need commitment when you're rushing the quarterback, and it can sap that commitment when you feel like your efforts aren't lending the results you want.
Agreed.
Glad you guys could agree to disagree and then agree in the end. Throw from Rattering, and it's Wilson, and Wilson gets to midfield. Jomo Wilson. 60-year man, played his college ball in Eastern Oregon. 31 years of age.
Sorry about that, buddy. The pocket did begin to collapse around J.J. Ratterink on that play, but he kept his wits about him. Antosh Hawthorne, Tyree Glasper, they're sort of condensing things as he's throwing from his own end zone, but able to stay calm and deliver the football to an open Jomo Wilson. He missed a lot of open receivers in the game last week.
Ratterink 7 for 12, 91 yards. Finds Solomon. And Solomon has a first down. And Garcia with his quarterback.
Z to left trips. Tell him to cut him now. Z to left trips. 33 quick to Z.
Make sure you guys cut him. Let's go. Z to left trips. 33 quick to Z on one-on-one. Ready?
So as Jomo Wilson comes in motion here, you're going to see another quick pass, which has been the hallmark of this first half for the Outlaws. Want to get the hands down of all the defenders.
Wilson, the one-handed snare, and the cutback for the touchdown.
Outstanding blocking from the offensive line and the wide receivers of the Las Vegas Outlaws. Your head coach, Aaron Garcia, say make sure they cut him. It gets down the hands of the players in the pit, and then again, wide receivers from Las Vegas leading their teammates into the end zone. It all works very well in tandem. It's not only the initial part of just completing the very easy pass, but the execution, getting the hands down of those defensive linemen up front, making sure they can't deflect that ball. And then Clinton Solomon has put a lot of effort in. LaDon Hudson has been doing the same thing. Outside the numbers, making sure that defenders don't have a free lane to make tackles in space.
Cornell on for the extra point attempt. Up and good. And the Outlaws have cut into the deficit. They now trail by just 6 points. Beautiful night here in Las Vegas, and the Outlaws putting on a pretty good show so far. Don Staley's Gamecocks make their first Final Four trip, but Notre Dame has some unfinished business, and fiery Maryland looks to stop UConn's historic quest for 10 titles. The Women's Basketball Championship, presented by Capital One. The top seeds square off in Tampa. Final Four begins Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN. And we know now who's going to play in the men's championship game Monday night. Duke against Wisconsin.
Wait, no. You misstated. Duke against Kentucky, right?
No. Kentucky's out. 71-64 losers to the Badgers.
Check that out.
Check that out.
So then we'll get an influx of viewers at this point.
Yeah,
I'm going to tweet #AFL on ESPN.
There you go. A.J. Cruz has had a big night in the return game, but a good kick from Gornall, so no chance at a return. Exactly 8 minutes to go in the second quarter.
One thing that Nick Davila has done at points in his career is he shows that courage under fire, but it has led to different points where he's taken safeties. And he's going to be throwing, as he drops back, potentially out of his own end zone here. Expect to see a 3-step pass, get the ball out quickly.
Davila gets it out very quickly. DeAdder makes the catch. Coming off a very good performance last week, and let's listen in.
Here we go. Let's go left. Let's go left. Z moves, okay?
Yeah.
You want something downfield or you want something short?
What do you want? Here we go. Hey, 5-step. Left Z moon, 3 read 7. On 2, ready?
And Kevin Guy, that's the trust he has, essentially letting Nick Davila call his own play there. You'll hear that happen at different points throughout the season.
All right, Sid Bonner is also going to be down there taking a listen to the play call.
And Sid got to the point in his career where he was allowed to start calling his own plays with coaches like Larry Koharic as well. Interested to hear Sid's take on this communication between Guy and Davila.
Yeah, that was huge in my career. And let's get the call from Coach Guy. Coach, what do you got?
We're just going hitches 1-1-1 across the board so we get the first down.
Getting that 3-step, get the ball out of his hand. He'll make a good read away from the jack.
Davila knew exactly where he wanted to go. DeAdder almost had his second drop of the first half, but bobbles it, makes the catch, and the chain gang will move.
But Sam, while you're waiting on that play call, what's it like as a QB having some freedom to do what Nick is able to do sometimes?
Right. Z short, Z rock.
Hey, come on now. Hey, right. Go back.
That's the best part about it. Staying engaged, calling your own plays. Coach, what do you got?
I got right, Z short, Z rock. It's going to be a quick screen to JP.
Go! Set! Damn.
Perry, no place to go. Well defended by the Outlaws.
And Nick Davila really kind of bobbled this ball as he took the snap from center, just barely able to get it controlled to flip it out to Jared Perry. That's the JP that Kevin Guy was referring to. And the thought is you really don't need to control the ball very long. It didn't look like Davila really pulled away from center too quickly.
Left wing zoom 7-5-6. On 2. Ready? Hurry up! Go!
Hold everything. Here there was movement. Terrence Carter saying.
Defense number 23, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, Terrence Carter was trying to do a bit of lawyering there. Apparently didn't accomplish a law degree at Colorado State, or at least didn't win that argument.
He certainly doesn't mind to talk it up a bit with the officials, with the opposing team. He's chopping it up with me a bit before the game, just saying how excited he was to be healthy for the first time in several seasons. He's shown it so far through 2 games.
Davila, the screen to Benson, gets a big block, cuts it back. The big fella gets it to the 2-yard line. Let's see this block again. Well, this block crushing.
Benson come there from the home position at fullback, so he's got to step around the QB and then allows Wesley Maria to work into the backfield. From there, it's 280 pounds of steam and fury.
The ball. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
As you heard Reggie Smith there on Sportsmanlike Conduct against the Outlaws. Hudson, who was playing Jack linebacker there, just got a real hello. I don't think he's used to getting blocked like that. Benson will not get in. Good penetration up front for the Outlaws.
That's another play made by Terrence Carter, even though Carter didn't make the tackle himself. But setting the edge as a defensive end forces the fullback to cut inside. So when you get that penetration like Carter does against Simmons, it forces 280 pounds to not be able to work downhill as quickly as what they would like him to be able to do on that play.
Three, cell post, three, right now,
Quality first half from the Outlaws defensive front.
2nd and goal from the 2. All day. Marquis White goes up high, makes the catch, and he holds on. Touchdown Rattlers.
That's the way you make a play. Hell yeah, that's the way you make a play.
Phenomenal pass from Nick Davila, leading to a sensational grab from the 6'7" Marquis White. Floats the teardrop into the air, and Marquis White takes the defenders to flight school.
Let's go!
That is a Sports Center highlight if I've ever seen one.
He bounces up like he's playing on grass. That concrete he's getting off of. Shelley on for the extra point. And the extra point is good. And we bring in our Hall of Famer, Sid Bonner. Give us your thoughts.
Hey, Ari, you know, last week, Kevin Guy talked about the receivers not being physical enough down the red zone. They're used to the Purifies, the Windsors. The guys are going to go down and beat the DBs up and get open. Tonight, we've seen a different story. The guys are going up, making plays in the end zone. Marquis White doing an outstanding job there, fighting through holding and coverage, playing a little more physical as the Guru wanted.
They take some time off the clock there, too. Almost a 5-minute drive for the Rattlers. And Marquis White is a part of that championship team in Spokane back in 2010. And he's been on some very good teams. And his size makes him such a threat in the red zone.
He's been around winning. That's why Kevin Guy, who'd had Marquis White earlier in his career, wanted to bring him back into the fold here with the Arizona Rattlers.
Be sure to check out arenafootball.com for all the latest news and information on the Arena Football League. While you are there, be sure to shop the AFL Team Fan Shop for the latest team gear. Check out arenafootball.com today and think of all the people out there that got to get their Outlaw gear. We get a new team, got to get the new jerseys.
Certainly seeing some Outlaws gear in the stands here. Starting to see it a little bit more. Been in town for a couple of days here in Las Vegas. Seeing it a little bit more around the Las Vegas community.
Another good return for the Outlaws. Gerald Young, second-year man out of Charleston Southern.
And now here, getting towards the latter stages of the second quarter. Still not time yet to factor in the clock, especially because of the good return from Gerald Young. So you're just thinking operating your offense if you're the Outlaws at the same tempo you normally do.
But you will continue to coach up our audience because it's about possessions, and the Outlaws will get the football at the start of the third quarter. So how this plays out will be a big factor right now with them down 13. Raderick off his back foot, and Kellum accidentally tackled the receiver, Hudson. I'll tell you this about Hudson. For rookie, he's made quite an impression in the first half.
Flags on the field.
Definitely agree with your comment on Hudson. He's got a good frame, 6'3", 215-pounder. He runs well.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense, number 94. The penalty is declined. Pass interference, defense, number 20. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See both penalties, able to accept one of them. The hands to the face from Glasper. That's the one that was declined. And the pass interference that was accepted. Excellent call, proper call from the back judge. Really multiple officials throwing the laundry onto the field.
And Hudson's going old school because of the injury. I mean, he's playing both ways. He's an Ironman tonight here in the first half. 4 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown, and he's playing defense. This time it's Solomon. I like how Solomon went up there with those hands, got the football just inside the 10.
But Solomon was an all Big Ten wide receiver, had an excellent career at Iowa, was known as a very sure-handed guy, had a lot of circus and acrobatic catches during his collegiate career.
Let's go on 2 here, right, Z back. 50, Iowa pass on 2-on-2, ready?
A 50 Iowa pass that John Gregory made famous. You'll see levels routes coming from the field side.
Raderick in trouble. And Raderick will do the smart thing and throw it away. And the clock will tick, tick, tick down to the 1-minute warning. And when we come back, Outlaws looking to get some points before we take a break at halftime. Beautiful shot of the strip. Having a great time here in Vegas. We're coming right back. Welcome back to Las Vegas. And Anthony here for what was hoping to be a light, fun arena football game on a Saturday night, but we found out some sad news today.
Some very unfortunate news for the Arizona Rattler family, really the entire arena football family. The equipment manager for the Rattlers, Todd Connor, his father Ross passed away just shortly before the game, and Todd Connor and his family have been a big part of the Arizona Rattlers community and what they've done in winning so many championships here in recent years. So the thoughts of the Arena Football League and of those of us on the air tonight certainly go out to Todd Connor, the loss of his father Ross, and their entire family.
Indeed, well said, Anthony. 3rd down.
Set hot.
Raderick throws, caught. Wilson's got it. Touchdown, Outlaw.
Nice, baby.
Vince Neal's loving it.
Number 15,
He can tell that his quarterback, J.J. Raderick, looking much more comfortable in the first half of this week's game than he did last week. A very confident throw, trusting his receiver, Jomo Wilson, to climb the ladder and go get this football. Wilson wasn't running wide open, and there's not a lot of space to run back there in these Outlaws end zone, as we mentioned earlier.
Extra point, just squeezes in off the left upright. So back to a 6-point game, and Anthony with 56 seconds. This is a time where you'd almost expect an onside kick.
Hopefully the guy you coach.
And really, there was a point earlier in the second quarter where I was anticipating maybe even Las Vegas would consider an onside kick. But I agree, with the time remaining on the clock right now, it makes sense for them to try to get that 2-for-1 opportunity.
Coming up at the half, games from around the AFL and Final Four highlights. We know it's going to be Duke and Wisconsin Monday night. All that coming up on the halftime show. And there's J.J. Raderick. And compared to a week ago, he's got to be thrilled with the way his offense is performing.
Well, pass protection is part of it, and overall the pass protection for Las Vegas was fairly solid last week, but J.J. Raderick did hold the football at times, didn't get it out on time. But Aaron Garcia talked about spending some additional moments with J.J. Raderick in the meeting room, going through the film in more intricate detail, and it's showing throughout the first half today.
All right, so Arizona's anticipating an onside kick. They've got their hands team in. But they go ahead and kick it deep. I guess when you got a rookie head coach, we can't assume any decisions because Aaron's got to have his own philosophy. Sid, what do you got?
I'm down here with JJ, a much different half. I mean, I can't talk enough about the improvement from last week to this week. Take us through what you guys are seeing out there from this Arizona defense.
Well, they've definitely got some injuries. They've had to make some personnel changes, but still they're a very sound defense. You can tell how well they're coached. For instance, there they brought in Cliff Dukes, who's normally a down lineman or a MAC. He goes to Jack to take away some of our run capabilities. So they're still a very good defense. Luckily, we came up with some plays, and the guys made some nice plays for us.
Appreciate it, JJ. Guys.
Thank you, Sid. Adder makes the catch. He's just shy of the first down. 1-minute timing rules are essentially college football rules. on a 50-yard field indoors. A player can give himself up just like DeAndre just did over the boards to stop the clock. Incomplete passes, the clock will stop. Davila plays it. Marky White, as you see, he reached the ball out. That immediately stops the clock. And then we'll take a listen to some live audio downstairs between coach and quarterback.
All right, let's make a break that timeout. Okay, 1-1-1. Here we go. Hey, 3-7. Left wing zoom. 1-1-1. On 2. Ready?
Just heard Kevin Guy reference. It's making burn some timeouts. We're going 1-1-1 hitch routes across the board. There'll be some sort of stop routes coming from all receivers.
Marky White the catch. And he is tackled at the 15-yard line by Donovan Henley. And let's take another listen.
Las Vegas electing not to burn any timeouts yet.
Be smart. Be smart now. Play to the whistle.
So Arizona will use the timeout.
30 seconds.
Last year, Arizona went to Cleveland for the Arena Bowl. Cleveland hosted the Arena Bowl, and it was rocking in Cleveland. And then it got real quiet because of Ron Windsor and company. 72-32. Here's Kerry Reed with a pick 6.
And he'll have an escort.
Yes, he will. His head coach. And that was 3 in a row for the Arizona Rattlers.
4 appearances in a row when you go back to 2011 when Aaron Garcia, as a player, was able to knock off the Arizona Rattlers on the very last play of the game.
Right, if you take that play, that doesn't happen. We could be talking about a team going for a 5-peat. I mean, last time I heard anything like that, John Wooden was the head coach of UCLA. I mean, that just doesn't happen. So 14 seconds to go in the half.
It was a good, solid tackle as Chase DeAdder made the reception. It almost looked like the football may have come out. Right there, good physical tackle. Puts the shoulder right on the ball. It did pop out.
Timeout, Arizona, 30 seconds.
Oh, looks like it popped right back into the hands of Chase DeAdder.
15 seconds.
Good physical tackle from Dwight McLean. Play out of Purdue with Big Ten talent on the field.
A lot of Big Ten love already here in the first half tonight. It seems kind of odd considering you went to Iowa and I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin.
Well, McLean's a player that normally plays the field corner. They moved him to boundary tonight. And said, what are you seeing down there?
Exact same thing. McLean put his helmet right on the football, pops right out. But I'm just amazed at how many Big Ten references you're getting in the ball game right now. I mean, it's crazy. I know Wisconsin was awesome tonight, but you just keep getting it in, especially the Iowa reference. Now you're even going with Purdue.
Well, I haven't referenced Northern Iowa yet, where Tanner Varner played.
Davila throws, and Perry stopped his route.
You can't give a guy one spot and then take it away. He set his feet to stop on the pivot route and jumped away from where Nick was throwing the football. Bad read by Jared Perry.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 21, kicking the ball into the stands. At the distance of the goal, automatic first down.
It's another unsportsmanlike, yet again, for kicking the football. But as Sid was just referencing here, as Perry comes in high motion, he takes the opportunity to set up McLean, but then he sort of looks off Nick Davila. He's very indecisive with the post or corner opportunity. Ball goes into the wall. McLean ends up kicking it. There was another kicking penalty prior to that that gave up yardage. He's sealing mistakes at the end of the half.
First and goal. And before the play, they're going to whistle this dead.
I do agree with something Kevin Guy referenced to us earlier.
Offside by the high motion man. 10-yard penalty. First down.
I do agree with Kevin Guy saying that Chase DeAdder looks comfortable in high motion. Well, on that previous snap, he got a little bit too comfortable. He's very aggressive because he went with a quick motion.
Halftime speech probably.
Very short motion.
He's probably going to go bonkers.
Around the back of the QB.
You want me to
and ended up being offside.
Okay, you want me to go with AG, right?
What'll be interesting for Aaron Garcia in this new role, because he told us that he hasn't been yelling and he doesn't want to be too emotional, but who's going to be the disciplinarian for this team when guys make some mistakes? Who's going to be the guy to say, hey, we don't do that? And getting, you know, because Aaron was very clear with us that that's not the role he wants to have as head coach. Davila throws it, it's incomplete, and Garcia referred to his father, who was his high school football coach, and said, you know, my dad was a very quiet leader. And I think it sounds like he wants to follow his father in the way he coaches. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to emerge as whether it's a player or an assistant coach that's going to get in somebody's face and say, hey, we can't afford these mistakes.
Yeah, and you pick your moments to do that. And he said there was one point in training camp where practice wasn't going well, and he did get more fired up with the team and essentially kicked them off the field at one point before continuing practice.
That's a quiet way of showing your displeasure. Marquis White, not this time.
Great defense.
Terrific defense. Two defenders sandwiched Marquis White.
It's McLean and Varner. As Dwight McLean works over the top. Tanner Varner's been using spacing more effectively here in the latter portion of the second quarter as these touch passes from Davila have been dropping in. He's been working the shoulders of the wide receiver, not tugging at the hip so much, but using the proper angles as he's trying to retrace.
Now, that's a great view there. Those goalposts, again, just 9 feet wide, and this is a 32-yard attempt.
30 seconds.
Those are just 9. That's exactly half of the NFL goalposts.
Okay.
Sid, what do you have for us on Kevin Guy?
Well, guys, he's definitely not going to be happy. We talked about earlier the performance of the wide receivers, and I think that was what broke down on that drive. They weren't able to win their individual matchups. Saw terrific plays by the defensive backs on that drive. Really hurt Arizona's offense. There was really nowhere to go with the football. Thus, the Outlaws turn them away and force them to try a field goal here.
So here we go, 32-yard attempt, has the distance. No good. It's a live football. Chance for a return for Young. Young's got some space, and there he goes. Touchdown Outlaws. Game tied at 34.
In the first half, it's had more twists and turns than a theme park roller coaster. Perhaps the biggest moment in the first half could come back via the penalty. There is a flag on the field.
Sid, what's the call?
Inside the 5.
Team number 70.
Yeah, it's not coming back. That's a great return and a good job being prepared by the Outlaws.
Touchdown Outlaws! And Gerald Young, off the field goal attempt, knows where he needs to be. Just doesn't field it cleanly, but you've got all those big bodies. The offensive linemen, even some defensive big men who are assigned with protecting the kicker initially, but then after they protect the kicker, you've got 300-pounders out in space trying to make tackles on 5'10", 175-pound speed demon.
Well, how do you like that? The Outlaws have taken the lead 35-34 at halftime. So the 3-time defending champs on the ropes after 30 minutes. And let's go down to Sid.
Thanks, Ari. Coach, tough inning to the half. You guys have played well up to that point. Talk about what your guys need to do to turn this thing back around.
Well, we got to get more physical. We're not being physical enough. We got to get to their quarterback. Our receivers are getting pushed around down in the red zone. We got to get more physical. That's why we're in the weight room, all right? We got to get more. It's football. We got to get physical. That's bottom line. That's it.
It seems like all the play calls are there. Things are going on. What do you got to do to get that receiving core in the proper spots to really beat some guys?
Well, we were having some success, but, you know, there towards the end, you know, we worked the clock all the way down. Then the penalty killed us, you know, not getting the playoff on time. So, you know, we'll readjust. And defensively, we're down a man. So we got to regroup and come out and get ready to play.
Appreciate it, Coach. Guys.
Thank you, Sid. And thank you to Coach Guy. Very entertaining first half. Las Vegas knows how to put on a show. Gerald Young, the touchdown off the missed field goal. Then they cap it off with the extra point and lead by 1. Welcome back to AFL on ESPN, coming to you from the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. And the Outlaws, a surprising 35-34 lead at the half. Our Wolf alongside friend and partner Anthony Aaron. And Big Ant, we expected the Rattlers to roll tonight. The Outlaws have a different script, apparently.
They have. That first half, I mean, through 3 halves so far, it's the best half of football that the Las Vegas Outlaws have ever played. And it certainly started with their quarterback, J.J. Ratterink. Offensive line held up well enough. Ratterink delivered the football with control and calm throughout that half.
And the beauty was the final play of the half. It looked like Arizona was going to go up 2 scores. Instead, the missed field goal leads to a return for a touchdown by Gerald Young. It was a worst-case scenario for the Rattlers, and now the Outlaws get the football to start the third quarter.
That is the beauty of arena football.
And here is Mr. Young, who just scored a touchdown. And there is a flag down at the 19-yard line. Gerald Young and A.J. Cruz have been very fun to watch off the nets tonight.
During the return, holding receiving team number 21. Happiness instead of goal. First down.
Let's hear what Sid learned from the coaches at the half.
Hey, guys, talked to AG, and he just said it was simple. We just got to keep doing our jobs and keep playing with confidence. They saw a lot of confidence. They're in uncharted waters right now, but they have confidence in what they're doing to keep getting better. Both teams being hit by the injury bug. In the secondary, DB Josh Gatlin's out with a lower leg injury, and Antonio Denard out for the rest of the game as well for the Arizona Rattlers.
That's a big loss for the Rattlers. They're very high on Denard. Ratterink. And he underthrows Jomo Wilson, who was open. And let's take a look at first half stats, Big Ant.
You see there, the passing yards fairly even from both teams. Surprised that the rushing yards are as close as they are, especially with the half that Michael Benson put together. Penalties really shot Las Vegas in the foot a couple of times, leading to some easier scores for Arizona. The individual stats for J.J. Ratterink, 10 out of 16, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, 0 interceptions.
Ratterink, and he completes it to Hudson. They're going to give him forward progress to the 16, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
J.J. Ratterink's pass.
There's a matchup inside where Antosh Hawthorne, former NFL draft pick of the Oakland Raiders, right here on the interior, matched up with Kevin Myers. So that's 6'6", 360-pounder, matched up with the 6'3", 345-pound Antosh Hawthorne. Overall, I'm highly impressed with what Kevin Myers has been able to do so far at the center position with Hawthorne.
Ratterink. And Wilson makes the catch, and let's listen in to coach and quarterback.
Z to left Indy. Let's go. 50, hitch, Z hitch and go.
Hey, boundary formation. Z to left Indy. 50 hitch, Z hitch and go on one-on-one. Ready?
So from a 5-step drop, the hitch and go opportunity will be there if pass protection continues to hold up. One-on-one matchup coming as Jomo Wilson motions to trips.
Ratterink's going to step up and scramble, and Ratterink is brought down. I think we're going to have a horse collar here. As Gilmore brought him down, but brought him down illegally, and that's going to tack on yards.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 28. Happiness instead of goal. First down.
You don't often see it in the Arena Football League. So JT Gilmore there at the top of the screen in chase mode. You love the hustle. Kevin Guy talked about the great motor of the former CFL defensive lineman. And Gilmore there in that chase mode from the backside just dives and does the horse collar on J.J. Ratterink.
Ratterink, quick screen to Wilson, and not much there. And one thing that's important to note is Aaron Garcia, though in title was not the offensive coordinator, with several different teams during his career, he effectively was the offensive coordinator, called all of his own plays. So it's interesting how he now, as the guy telling the quarterback, whether he would call the same plays for himself or it's different because Ratterink has a different skill set.
There's certainly a dynamic that takes place there, and Aaron Garcia talked about how he needs to continue to learn what plays really work for J.J. Ratterink.
Ratterink throws, and a flag comes in. And Ben Wells, 25, had something to say after the play. Arizona's got a lot of young guys out there right now.
Well, it's certainly a rather violent hit that was delivered.
Yeah, it's Ben Wells, 25. I just think that we're seeing Arizona actually Las Vegas was a little chippy with them, and Arizona got into it with them, and this is not the mature, full roster Arizona winning championship team from last August. This team that we're seeing tonight's got some different guys out there.
You heard Kevin Guy telling our Cedric Bonner going into the half that he wanted his team to be more physical in this half. There's a balance there where when you're attempting to play more physically, where you don't go beyond the bounds of the rules, and the maturity that they normally have on defense, as you referenced, isn't there tonight to know that balance.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul. Defense, number 25. A hit on a defenseless receiver. That's half the distance to the goal. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct by the Arizona head coach against the officials. Also half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So it's 1st and goal at the 3, and the guy that immediately comes to mind is no Marquise Floyd on the field. A great veteran player coming off a first-team All-AFL season, 35 years of age, has seen everything in the AFL, and he's out there to coach those young guys to make sure to do the right thing at the right time.
So you see the heavy jumbo coming onto the field, a couple of defensive linemen at the wing positions. Backup QB Sean Brackett in.
And he's going to take it. Gets it. Touchdown, Outlaws.
Well, Brackett's only 6'1". They list him at 200 pounds. You look at him in person, especially in the pregame, he looks thicker than that, and certainly athletic. You see there, they had the defensive lineman they brought in at the wing position, so the action goes to the field side, but Joe Mortensen rocks back to the backside, gets the lead block that Brackett needs to get into the paint.
People were talking earlier today about Brackett's size. Our own Sid Bonner said he may not be that big, but he can sling it, and there he shows he got some pretty good feet. So a little bit of a weapon there. Brackett in the red zone gets the touchdown. And the Outlaws lead the 3-time defending champs 42-34. And Vince Neal, he gets a kiss. ESPN2's coverage of the Arena Football League continues next Saturday when the Outlaws visit the Kiss. Don't miss the game. It's going to be fun. A couple of rock band owners, a couple of Arena football teams. Las Vegas versus LA next Saturday at 10 on ESPN2 and Watch ESPN. AJ Cruz is back deep. He had one kickoff return that got to the 12-yard line, another to the end zone, but that one was called back. And Cornell does a nice job there, gets through the slack part of the net. But here comes Cruz. AJ Cruz, one guy to beat. There he goes. Touchdown, Rattlers.
The former All-American out of Brown University. Certainly one of the smartest players on the field, but has the Jets to make plays in the kick return game. teammates again doing an excellent job blocking at the point of attack, and then you just got to make the kicker miss. Like that, he's gone.
I like he just teased that he was going to go to the far corner. Cuts it back. A.J. Cruz. It's going to be a long time between snaps for Nick Davila, the way we're going. He's going to be like, well, I got to play here in the second half? Let's go to Sid. Oh, we're going to take one more look here. And here's Cruz.
Well, Cruz is coming into focus as he approaches the camera. And Ross Gornall, it's like a young doe, just with no idea what to do as he's being led to slaughter.
All right, now we will go to Sid Bond.
Thanks, guys. Exciting play there on the field. And here with new Commissioner Scott Butera of the Arena Football League. Scott, how are you climbing into this role? How are you feeling early out?
I got to tell you, it's been a blast from day one. I really love this league. We have great competitive football. There's tremendous excitement. We enter a new franchise into this league in Las Vegas. It's all about entertainment. I see people having a great weekend. You know, it's Easter weekend, Final Four, yet we have a lot of people in the stands enjoying arena football. So good, so far so good.
How important is it for a new team, an expansion team, to come in and compete with the best in the league and have a good showing on national television?
I think it's real important. You know, we want to grow as a league and to show that there's opportunity and you can come in and find some success early on. I think that's important. You know, I think in the Arena Football League, you know, it's very different than other leagues. You know, we don't have the old standards, so there's an opportunity here that doesn't exist elsewhere, and I think the fact that we can demonstrate that's great.
That's awesome. Appreciate your time, Scott. Thanks.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Guys?
Thank you very much, Sid, and thank you very much to Scott, the new commissioner of the Arena Football League. And this kind of game will make it an easier sell for the new commissioner. It's been very entertaining so far.
Well, Scott really was in position. He could have fielded that last kick return, but A.J. Cruz beat him to it.
Hey, whoa,
I'm guessing that Kevin Guy may want to beat him to the next football that's out there, too. Former wide receiver, defensive back during his Ironman days in the AFL.
Let's go Z to left.
Coach got on the field with both sides of the football, so his defense on the field, he loved the way that pass rush from the Rattlers played in week one. They've really been shut down throughout tonight's game so far.
Ratterink looking for Wilson. Ratterink is now 14 for 20, 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. So let's take a listen.
Go left, wide back. Let's go. 30, 32, release left to X.
Here we go. Let's go left, wide back. 32, release left to X on one-on-one. Ready?
You'll see again the offensive line looking to get the hands down to the field side of the defensive lineman. This release route coming.
Ratterick gets it to Solomon quickly, and A.J. Cruz makes the tackle.
More Ironman action going on from A.J. Cruz. Big play on special teams. They struggled with the LA Kiss last season to find a position for A.J. Cruz. Explosive off the net as a returner, but really didn't like him as a defensive back. Couldn't find a home for him at wideout either.
Let's go Z to left Indy. Fullback cross dive right on one-on-one. Ready?
Well, Cruz's ability simply in the return game almost makes it worth it. You got 21 guys to play. He's so good, but if he can do other things, he will ensure himself more value to the team as Mortensen. Now, Mortensen's first 2 years in the league, he was a linebacker. And then it didn't look like he was going to make the LA Kiss. They said, well, we're going to try you at fullback. Made the team as a fullback. Was pretty good until he got hurt. Aaron Garcia was there, decided to bring him to Las Vegas.
There's several players on the roster who were there as teammates with Aaron Garcia last season with the LA Kiss. Obviously, most notably, his now starting quarterback, J.J. Ratterick. But Joe Mortensen showed toughness throughout that season with the Kiss last season as he battled ankle injuries, learning a new position at fullback.
And Arizona's Hawthorne, the nose, one of the best in the AFL, but a little anxious that time.
Encroachment, defense number 77, 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
And Anthony, Hawthorne, I think sometimes doesn't get the credit he deserves because a lot of times he doesn't get the sack, but he helps his teammates put the pressure on the quarterback.
That interior of the pass rush between the nose and the MAC linebacker position funnel all the rest of the action for the quarterback, normally out to the defensive ends. And so Cliff Dukes has put up huge sack numbers throughout his career, even did it as a MAC linebacker back in his Tampa Bay Storm days.
Roderick throws, Hudson's wide open, and Hudson reaches it out, he's in! Touchdown, Outlaws!
As a rookie in the AFL, LaDon Hudson, nationally televised, prime time on ESPN, making his name known, making his presence felt.
He willed himself just enough to get the ball across the goal line. We have the makings of a guy we're going to keep our eyes on this season. Hudson, really high snap. And Brackett did a great job, the backup quarterback who's the holder. And Hudson telling America, start watching 18 in black and gold. There he is. Looks like he wasn't going to get in, but finds his way for 6. For fans of season-long greatness and the race for MVP, this is your day. Countdown tips things off at 12:30. Then at 1, MVP candidates James Harden and Russell Westbrook face off in OKC, followed by fellow MVP contender LeBron James taking on the Bulls Sunday on ABC. Forward progress is to the 4. And let's go downstairs to Sid, who's with head coach Aaron Garcia.
Hey, thanks, Ari. Here with Aaron Garcia. Coach, an inspired effort by your guys tonight. Since quarter number 2 last week, you guys have been pretty much dominant. How do you feel your rhythm is with JJ right now?
It feels real good. You know, and he's seeing things even a couple times in that first series of the second half, a couple mistakes, reads-wise he made, but right away he saw it, you know, came over to me, and so, I mean, I think he's getting a real good rhythm. We just got to keep it up.
And the second question is, everybody in America wants to know, where did you find LaDon Hudson?
Sacramento, California. Yes, sir.
Back to you guys.
Can you sense that Coach Garcia was from the Sacramento area?
Aaron's always talking about that NorCal stuff. I'm a SoCal guy. He's talking about that NorCal stuff all the time.
6 catches, 82 yards, and 2 touchdowns for LaDon Hudson in tonight's game.
The Adder out of bounds, first and goal.
The Adder's very physical on the drag routes because even when defensive backs attempt to collision him, he can fight through that and continue to work his way through the route. Nice spacing. Kevin got talked about how he gets up on the toes of DBs.
Hey, watch eyes weak.
Tries to show some versatility in his route running ability.
Go!
Hey!
Let's take a listen in here as they go through the play calling in the red zone.
Left close, okay? Left close, wing zoom, hole 3-1, okay?
Come on, be physical now. Left close, 3-step, left close, wing zoom, hole 3 return. On 1. You got the 3.
A 3 return will be a side adjustment. Marquis White in high motion.
Flags are there, lots of them. Dirty laundry in the corner.
They ran it featuring Jared Perry on the snap as Davila looked towards the backside. Getting off the press is something that Jared Perry isn't always effective as a wide receiver. Couldn't quite work his way back downhill coming on the return route.
There's 2 fouls on the play. Holding, defense, number 20. The penalty is declined. Pass interference, defense, number 2. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Well, they accept the flag that was called on Donovan Henley. And now we see big personnel coming onto the field for the Las Vegas defense, bringing in defensive lineman Jabari Fletcher, adding him into the mix, with Mike Lewis being off the edge. They have a couple of big linebackers out there.
Easy, Timber B, go!
The toss to Benson, great penetration. And absolutely no place to go. Loss of a couple yards, but there is a flag down.
Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty.
What a play there. He just got in there.
It's every level of the defense working in tandem together, because you've got Wesley Mawia and Joe Mortensen in at linebacker. The action is forced at the point of attack. The POA from Terrence Carter, making the running back belly, and then Mawia pulls the trigger, penetrating into the backfield.
15-yard line. First and goal for Arizona.
Well, Reggie Smith and the officiating crew getting the ball spotted. And now you see his Outlaws defense.
They're doing a good job of getting this crowd into it. I like it. Mike Lewis is acting like a rookie out there. He's having some fun.
Right Z fly, bubble, 7, shoot. On one, hey, grip, man.
A lot of extra chatter coming out of the huddle. Some uncertainty from Arizona.
Great defense. Tanner Varner showing he can still cover.
He's right in the hip pocket of Chase DeAdder the entire route. That's where knowledge still works for you. As an old school football player, Tanner Varner may not have the wheels he used to have, but as soon as DeAdder starts to work across his face, he sees the opportunity to undercut, turn that upfield shoulder. Tanner Varner always seems to play well on national television in prime time.
That's the big lights. Davila, nice throw and catch. Touchdown Rattlers. Chase DeAdder. Like an obstacle course behind that end zone.
Pass protection of the Arizona Rattlers, keeping the Latin laser clean in the pocket. Wesley Mawia just walled off inside by Michael Benson at the fullback position. Davila takes a tumble late, but he'll take that kind of tumble every time if it means a touchdown strike. Got our handheld camera here in the tunnel, watching the action come right in his lap. DeAdder's a big boy.
In his lap, more like it right in his grill.
On the ensuing kickoff, try for point.
He survived.
Toughness required for anyone at field level, because you never know what might come right into you.
Even said?
Even said.
All right, he's a quarterback, don't forget.
Keep fighting. Hey, keep fighting now. Keep fighting, D. You got your back.
Oh, they had the fake.
Wasted opportunity.
Yeah, they had a chance. They were
Wasted opportunity.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Try for point.
Now you're very likely to just see the standard extra point here. You've lost the field position, and you've lost the advent of surprise, trying to tie this game up for Arizona. Yep, right there on the left side. There was the flinch. The officials, the line judge, picked it up and threw the flag.
Well, you're normally accustomed to teams not chasing the points. Coach Guy just thought he was going to catch them off guard there. You certainly don't need to go for 2 at this point, as the extra point is missed. So they get the penalty, which takes away the chance for 2. Then they try for the extra point and miss. The Outlaw lead is 2. DeAdder with the score.
Watch out,
a little harm. Davila's pumped up.
The AFL is no place to leave points on the board. Sherman Carter at the left guard position, flinches prior to the snap, Looked like a 2-point opportunity. No conversion there. Now the high snap on the extra point attempt. Ball gets down, but Jeremy Shelley off his rhythm misses the extra point. Now an opportunity to make it a tie game, then an opportunity to make it a 1-point game. Now the Rattlers still trail by 2. Those points will matter later in this ball game.
Arizona to kick it off. Shelley is set. Gerald Young back for the Outlaws. And it bounced, kind of hit up right off his face mask, and out of play. It'll be a touchback.
Do you hear the disappointment in the building as well? Seb, what do you got?
Hey, thanks, Ari. Down here with Nick Davila. Not the typical type game for you guys. The first 2 weeks out, you guys struggle a little bit at the receiver position. What do you guys need to do to close this thing out and get the win on the road?
Well, we just got to find a way to win. You know, defense has got to get a stop right here. Offense, we got to keep scoring and making sure we're making it a physical game. And it's going to be a fourth-quarter battle, and that's what we love.
You guys are in a dogfight on the road, a new opponent, new Western rival. Are you trying to show your dominance on the road with these guys?
We're just trying to get better, and we're just trying to win every play and win your matchup. And that's all we got to focus on, and everything else will take care of itself.
Appreciate it, Nick. Thanks. Guys?
Thank you, Sid. Rattering, and it's almost picked off. Jeremy Kellum steps in there. Kellum coming off a terrific game in week 1.
Kellen's had a really nice career now being in Arizona. He was a Rookie of the Year candidate a few seasons ago when he was still with the New Orleans Voodoo. He's played the jack linebacker position, playing the middle tonight. He's played both backside and frontside corner, so there's a level of versatility that he brings to the Kevin Guy secondary.
Go! Set up!
Rattering going up over the top. Solomon almost brought it in with one hand. Wells running step for step. Great throw.
This was one of the best balls that J.J. Raderink has thrown all night. And as Clinton Solomon is fighting off Ben Wells in the secondary, running up the boards, not able to pull it in with one hand.
They're going to call delay a game. No, we're 0.3 seconds.
Aaron Garcia a little bit frustrated. Great game tonight in Las Vegas. We've got 1 quarter to go, and this would be an early season upset for the ages. The expansion Outlaws trying to take down the 3-time defending champs. Welcome back. Vince Neal is enjoying himself because his team, the expansion Las Vegas Outlaws, are leading the defending champs Arizona 49-47, and they outscored them 21-14 in the second quarter. It all comes back to that missed field goal, and then Gerald Young returns it for the touchdown, and it just completely changed the momentum in the field in the building.
And they've been playing well up to that point, but then the Gerald Young return at the end of the half went from we're hanging in to wait a minute, we've got our first lead of the season. We can win this game. It's a different dynamic when you start to believe.
Go!
Third down. Ratterin's going to scramble, and he showed off the wheels. There he takes on A.J. Cruz, his former teammate. They played together last year for the LA Kiss.
Let's take a listen in for this collision as Raderink approaches the boards. A.J. Cruz played more defensive back than he did wide receiver. But Kevin Guy seems to think he's got a shot at wideout as well, being in this offense now right in this setting, playing jack linebacker.
But if you are J.J. Raderink, there's nobody you'd rather see coming to make that tackle on the field than A.J. Cruz. Fair? So it's broken up by Kellum. I mean, Cruz the smallest guy out there.
Certainly prefer Cruz over Tyree Glassman.
Yes.
Someone along those lines.
Now, we've had live audio throughout the night, and it's one of the real perks to go inside arena football. But because of the hit from A.J. Cruz, J.J. Raderink's mic is dead. Couldn't take the hit.
We hear no more from America's quarterback after the collision from Cruz. Bang!
Mike's done.
Down goes Raderink. Down goes the
fine. Yes. So Arizona takes over. Down by 2. First and goal at the 9. And tried to set up the screen. It's probably a good thing Benson didn't catch the football. So let's give you some perspective. Arizona has 250 wins as a franchise. They're the 3-time defending champs.
Illegal
It's only
defense,
week
Matt
2.
Linebacker out of the box, number 17. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's only week 2, and this Arizona team is going to get healthy, and they're going to look a lot different in 6 weeks, 10 weeks than they do tonight in terms of the roster. But in terms of an early season upset, this would rank with the great upsets of all time early in the season for an expansion team to defeat the reigning champion.
Linebacker, by rule, is allowed to cover the fullback when he goes in motion. It's second down.
It's good that Reggie Smith came in and got that right, because initially they called a flag on Wesley Mawia for leaving the box with the Mac linebacker is not allowed to do either the depth or the lateral side of the box. But because the fullback, Michael Benson, left the backfield, he is allowed to go with him.
Second down. They give us to Benson, and maybe a 6 inches gained.
Good play. Come on now.
Let's take a listen.
Give me the rock, baby. You got it right here. We're going to have to take the lead, though. Trips right up, X zoom, option. Come on now, hit it. Trips right up, X zoom, 3 fade, option, hit it. On 2,
Looking for an outside release from Chase Deanna.
Davila's in trouble. He'll go down. Terrence Carter gets the sack.
Terrence Carter told me during the pregame, I'm feeling healthy for the first time in years. He's most certainly played like it through 2 games. Excellent step up the field, and once you get that kind of burst, it's about closing the finish at the QB.
So this field goal attempt is virtually the same distance. This one's 31 instead of 32. Last time, at the end of the half, this was missed and returned by Young for a touchdown. Kick on the way. No good. Chance for a return for Young. We're going to have kick-catch interference. This play is long. And there goes Young. 10-5 to the house. Touchdown, Outlaws. Touchdown's going to stand. It's going to be the same call at the end of the half. It's kick-catch interference.
Kick-catch interference. Kicking team, number 60. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
That is good for an Outlaws. Points will stay on the board. And Gerald Young, for the 2nd time tonight, showing that the entire field in the Arena Football League is prime time real estate. You got those big uglies in space, trying to make their way down to get to a tackle. The 300-pounders need to be out there to block in the field goal protection.
Gornall on for the extra point. The Las Vegas Outlaws now lead 56-47, and what you just saw looks like a mirror image of this play, the final play of the first half, where Shelley pushes it to the right. Young gets the football, and the speedster puts on the jets, and there he goes. And that gave the Outlaws their first lead, 35-34, and then this just happened, and it's Gerald Young again. And the defending champs are on the ropes. The Outlaws lead 56-47. Baseball is finally back. The Cards and the Cubs look to start the season off on the right foot. After a long winter, the cure for the common cold is baseball. Baseball Rules on ESPN. Cardinals versus Cubs tomorrow at 8 p.m. on ESPN2 and watch ESPN. Anthony, do you believe what you're seeing right now? And Cruz will not get a chance at the return. And Anthony, we're going to see these two plays again. It's led to what could be a historic upset.
But for the folks who are watching Wisconsin upset Kentucky just earlier this evening in the Final Four, in the world of arena football, this is nearly that monumental of an upset, and Gerald Young is right at the center of why the Las Vegas Outlaws are now in this position, leading by 9 in the fourth quarter.
First and 10. The Latin Laser gets it to Marquis White, and Marquis White breaks the tackle. Has a blocker in front of him. And White brought down at the 17. White's already got 4 receiving touchdowns. And Arizona needs big plays, and they get one there from number 8.
And they need some tenacity on the field. You know, a guy willing to have that extra heartbeat and make a play when there's not a play there to be made. This could have just been a first down, but Marquis White going the extra mile, trying to make it a touchdown. Couldn't quite tell if that was friendly fire, if Nick Davila just tripped over the yard marker.
It's picked off. McLean with the interception. And McLean forced out of bounds at the 20. This upset seemingly getting more realistic by the moment.
Well, Marquis White, after making a big play on the previous snap, comes in high motion, but then doesn't get out of his break clean, trying to work across the face of Dwight McLean. And then McLean able to put his eyes into the backfield, seeing where Nick Davila is attempting to throw the football, wrestles it away from Marquis White. That's where you really need to be able to count on your wide receiver as a QB to beat the defensive back to the spot, but that displays the physicality that I referenced earlier from Dwight McLean.
He gave you space, right?
Going deep. Hudson fights for it, but Kellum knocks it away.
These opportunities have been there throughout the night. And whether Las Vegas wins or loses this game, Aaron Garcia will go back and look at this film, working with his quarterback and multiple wide receivers on winning these one-on-one matchups to complete the deep ball. Certainly credit the secondary from Arizona with what they've been able to do in those one-on-one matchups.
2nd and 10. Solomon makes the catch, and let's go to Sed.
Sorry, down here, Gerald Young couldn't get on the field a week ago. I mean, how hungry did that make you to come in here tonight and perform?
Oh, I'm hungry, man. We got a great receiving group. You know, I was just waiting for my opportunity, and tonight's the night, man.
Two field goal returns off the net for touchdowns. Talk about what that means to put your team in a position to possibly win this game.
Man, I love it, man. You know, we came together after week 1, and you know, we're playing team football right now. And my position right now is returning kicks, and that's what I'm doing out here.
Appreciate your time, G.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
Thank you. He's doing a wonderful job as that ball is tipped up into the air. I mean, Gerald Young is going to get some kind of AFL Weekly Award this week. I mean, he doesn't have the Special Teams Award already. Some really wacky stuff's happening in the league.
Well, you've got your potential for Russell Athletic Offensive Player of the Week. He's not going to win Rydell Defensive Player of the Week. No. Jay Lewis Small, Playmaker of the Week. There's a lot of opportunities there.
Small and playmakers seem to suit Gerald Young perfectly.
Go to arenafootball.com and find out.
Yes. Rhetoric with Thomas Hudson. And Kellum got just enough, and they get the first down on 4th down.
This was about spacing. 2 receivers on the outside running stack routes, one-on-one again in the secondary. Jeremy Kellum almost made that play.
1st and 10 at the 12. Quick screen. It's Hudson and stood up at the 9, well, we'll call it 8.5. Hudson has really become the focal point for J.J. Ratterink.
With good reason. You know, it's been a situation tonight where he's had multiple receivers, whether it's been Jomo Wilson in the first half, Clinton Solomon, especially both blocking and receiving on those smoke routes. But the guy who's really stood out, especially being an unexpected target, has been LaDon Hudson.
And J.J. Ratterink, when he was interviewed by Sid Bonner early in the game, pointed him out and said, this guy could be a player to watch. Ratterink goes to Solomon. He drops it. It'll bring up 3rd down. Sid, let's get your thoughts.
That's a tough drop right there in the situation. But this team is playing well together. They're excited to be playing well. And it's good. We've gotten JJ a ton of times on national television. This is one of the better performances he's had, and he's looked more comfortable tonight than he's ever looked in front of us. And I tell you what, if they can punch it in here, that puts a ton of pressure on the Arizona Rattlers, who have been dominant in this league.
Said, I really like the game plan that Aaron Garcia has put together. J.J. Ratterink is executing it at a high level.
Ratterink sets up the screen. Touchdown, Outlaws! The big fella gets in, and I know Anthony likes that. Terrence Campbell.
If you're over 280 pounds and you get a chance to touch the football, I'm a big fan of that every time. From the tight end position, Campbell's going to allow the defensive end to pass rush, clubs him out of the way, soft hands, no one in his way. Now, we've seen better dances from Terrence Campbell over the years. He's keeping his game face on right now.
Gornall's extra point is good. And Terrence Campbell, pretty sure he didn't get to score like this playing for Steve Spurrier, but he gets into the end zone, and J.J. Ratterink celebrating. More arena football next Saturday on ESPN2. Las Vegas and L.A. for the first time. The Battle of the Bands. Motley Crue, Kiss, must-see TV. That's next Saturday at 10 on ESPN2 and watch ESPN. A.J. Cruz. And he gets hammered at the 9-yard line and sent backwards. Fletcher, great hustle on special teams. Sid, take us through the call there to get to the touchdown.
Super interesting, Ari. You know, known AG, Aaron Garcia, for a long time. I go up to him and I say, AG, that's the best play call you've made in 20 years. And he looks me right in the face and says, I didn't call it, JJ did. Wow. It shows you JJ's maturing right in front of us on national television, guys.
Go! I mean, he is 33 years old. He played a lot of arena football. Great catch there made by Jared Perry, and the Rattlers have to be in a hurry. I mean, there's got to be a sense of urgency.
You do see them jogging back up to the line of scrimmage. But right on script of what you're talking about there. Physical catch here from Jared Perry at a moment where his team really needs it. Contested grab, hauled it in, had the boards there waiting on him.
The lead is 16. It's still a 2-score game. But they need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Perry. And he's brought down inside the 5. They can get a first down, but really for the Rattlers, I know there's a lot of time by arena football standards, but when you're down 16, you still got to be very efficient. You can't waste much time, and they're huddling up here. And again, you know, the final minute, we could have multiple possessions, but I would think that they want to really, and also for themselves, their own tempo to pick up.
I said right close, wing zoom, Cobra, smash, return, all more right.
I mean, the play clock, Anthony, is almost at 5. Diane throws, and it's incomplete.
They allowed some physicality there from Tanner Varner to the field side. Cedric Bonner, you're down there close to the action in the red zone. How you seeing it play out?
Oh, boy, is it ever physical down here. Dwight McClain, Tanner Varner, these guys are getting after the Arizona receivers, forcing these guys to earn anything they get. They're not giving up anything easy. The officials are letting them get after it, so they're pushing the limit right now. Arizona's got to be more physical.
And this is the area of the field where you might as well push those limits. Make sure that you don't give up a touchdown. If you get a penalty, you can live with that.
Gotta be the throws, caught. Did he get in? Don't see a signal yet. And he does not get in. It's Marky White with the catch. Oh, it is. He's in. Touchdown.
Never did see the signal from any of the officials.
All right, so they're going to go for 2 here to make it a 1-score game.
Here we go, Ray. 300, trip snap.
And we're still outside the final minute, so the clock does continue to run at this point. We won't get into the 1-minute timing rules for another 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Fabulous throws. Marky White, does he hold on? Yes, he does. Marky White, what a night. They're saying it's incomplete because the ball touched the back wall before he corralled it. They're saying no good on the 2-point conversion.
It's a special teams play. So the rule in this situation differs in the AFL than if it were a standard snap from scrimmage. Outstanding effort for Marky White, but you can't pin the ball against the boards on an extra point.
Want access to every AFL game at once? Go to arenafootball.com and click the AFL Live video player for a live stream of games around the league. Whether you're at home, on the computer, or on the go with your mobile device, AFL Live brings you the action, scores, and stats as they happen. Onside kick. Recovered by the Outlaws.
That was aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Tanner Varner, Mr. Primetime himself, comes clearly, really almost inside the 6-yard line, plays it as quickly as he can. It's a great play because he made it. You would normally coach that situation for them to wait for the ball to approach the 10-yard line if it appears that the dribbler won't get there. And so now that we haven't seen the actual recovery there for Arizona, you're going to see Las Vegas try to run some clock here. They need to force Arizona to use the remaining timeouts, run the football, of course see if they can get another score, but if they can't get a score, you still want to run as much time off the clock as possible.
See if they give it to Mortons. You know, it's Raderick who will keep it himself. Pittman will make the tackle, but again, that clock will just keep on ticking. All right, they have to run one more play before the 1-minute warning.
Quarterback keeper number 11, J.J. Raderick.
Curious to see whether or not Garcia is coaching Raderick and if Raderick is reminding the team not to score here.
And goal from the 3-yard line.
What do you got, Coach?
Just fullback toss right, back to the boundary.
Are you on a no-no situation? Is it no score? Or if you take it, you get it?
We're gonna take it, yeah.
Okay. You got it, guys?
Yep. Mortensen cuts it back. He's in for 6. Touchdown, Outlaws.
So that touchdown will make it the 16-point game. So now any extra point, assume they'll go for 1 here, will make it a 3-score game. 1 minute left. You can still get those multiple possessions here in the final minute of the half. And Vince Neal with a little sun salutation. Loving the fact that his team is in position to pick up the first win in franchise history.
To give some perspective, Arizona started last year 14-0, an AFL record to start a season. And he makes the extra point, and now it's going to be especially challenging for the Rattlers.
But not impossible.
No, not in the final minute. I've seen a 3-score game and in a race. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back. A minute to go. Be sure to check out arenafootball.com for all the latest news and information on the Arena Football League. While you are there, be sure to shop the AFL Team Fan Shop for the latest team gear. Check out arenafootball.com today. All right, Big Ant, what's the strategy here if you're Arizona?
Score quickly, Recovering onside, score really quickly, and recover another onside.
And here's A.J. Cruz on the return. And precious seconds coming off the clock. And here's why the game changed. Arizona, it seemed like they were just going to win in the first half. They were up the whole time. This was off a missed field goal on the final play of the first half. So instead of going up 2 scores, Arizona was suddenly down a point. And then in the second half, it happened again. Deja vu. This time from the other end of the field, Gerald Young, 2 missed field goal returns for touchdown.
Gerald Young is on the all-decade team, Charleston Southern. He was a playmaker at the collegiate level, and he is the first player in Arena Football League history with 2 missed field goal returns for touchdown in the same game. So if at this point in the 28th season of the AFL, if you're still setting new records at this point, that's something to speak of.
And what does this say? Why is Nick Davila not in the game? Big game. We got to get Sid on this. Sid,
just trying to get the guy some snaps.
So he's basically, Kevin Guy has conceded the game.
He's conceded the game with a 17-point deficit.
That, you don't give up and Kevin Guy don't go in the same sentence. 3-time defending champ. He knows he's not playing with his full arsenal. And he knows it's a long season. Maybe he's pulling like a Phil Jackson with the Lakers. Be like, guys, we'll get him some rest, or Popovich with the Spurs. Get the guys so that they're peaked at the end of the year.
And Kevin Guy did reference that this was maybe the most difficult training camp he's been through as a head coach. Dealing with player injuries, dealing with a bit of a malaise from a team who's been to the last 4 Arena Bowls, won the last 3 James F. Foster trophies. And so the mental and physical toll that takes on you over these last 4 seasons showed itself during the preseason for the Rattlers.
Coleman scrambling. And Coleman will go down at the 10-yard line. And the clock is stopped.
Number 18, Ladon Hudson on the stop for the Outlaws.
Flag on the play.
There's a flag on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 2. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. And by rule, please reset the clock to 21.5 seconds. And the clock will start on the snap.
That's the old Doug Plank rule. Can't have time come off the clock. 1 year, Doug Plank instructed his DBs to hold on every play and hope that one of them wasn't called, and time came off the clock. It ended up working out, but it worked in some games, but not in the Arena Bowl.
Of the 46 defense under Buddy Ryan, and then went on to be a defensive coordinator on multiple staffs in the AFL before becoming a head coach of the Georgia Force and Orlando Predators.
Marquis White went up with one hand, couldn't bring it in.
But you certainly don't, in our role, don't want to overanalyze and anticipate too much of what this means for Arizona, because that happened a bit at the end of last season as they went on a bit of a losing streak on the road, closing out after starting off 14-0 as we referenced earlier.
And they lost 3 of their last 4 regular season games and then marched through the playoffs and ended it with quite an exclamation point, winning by 40 in Arena Bowl 27 as Coleman's pass is out of bounds. So, right, I mean, I don't think that any of us are going to say that Arizona isn't still one of the favorites to be in Arena Bowl 28.
Some big scores that have taken place in the Arena Football League so far tonight. Cleveland Gladiators with a big win over the New Orleans Voodoo on the road. Philadelphia Soul coming up with a double-digit victory in Spokane over the Shock as well.
Pretty impressive start for Philadelphia to be on the road, going to Orlando and Spokane and emerging 2-0.
I do believe what this game does mean is that the Las Vegas Outlaws have the talent to do some damage throughout the season. All right, well, it's not a team that's going to go away easily.
Let's fast forward to our game next Saturday in Los Angeles. The LA Kiss, last year's expansion team that had high hopes, facing J.J. Ratterink and the Outlaws coming off beating Arizona. That makes for an interesting storyline for next Saturday.
Storylines abound between the two head coaches, their quarterbacks. That is going to be a fun game out in Los Angeles.
The head coach's storyline, two guys who've had great success in this league, but I don't think anytime soon you'll see them hanging out together. Is that fair?
Especially from what we've seen on Fourth and Loud, the AMZ documentary series. The other score that wasn't referenced there as we went through the scoreboard, 54-28 victory where San Jose defeated the LA Kiss. So LA will need to be in position to try to pick up their first victory of the season. But overall, I think this game, the storyline is about the impressive effort from the Las Vegas Outlaws. It's an upset, there's no doubt about that. But the ability they show that they have playmakers. There's defensive linemen who can rush the quarterback. There's a quarterback offensively with J.J. Ratterink who showed some poise in tonight's game with the game plan that Aaron Garcia put together with a more controlled passing attack.
Between Hudson and Young, they showed guys that can just take it and make a play. Very impressed. Aaron Garcia's first win as a head coach on behalf of Sid Bonner and Anthony Hare and our entire ESPN crew. What a great night to be in Las Vegas. Vince Neil celebrating as the Las Vegas Outlaws get a win, and they will be featured in our game next week on ESPN2. Las Vegas against Los Angeles, Motley Crue against Kiss.